Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 and Viksit Bharat 2047 in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today is celebrated as World Day Against Cyber Censorship, which is observed on March 12th. Cyber censorship blocks or limits access, communication, and access to certain information on the internet. Governments claim to do this for security purposes, but it often means of suppressing dissent by censoring and denying citizens their right to free speech, association, and mobilization. The internet is a powerful tool for reporting awareness and activism. It spreads information quickly and connects millions of people worldwide at the push of a button. We must protect freedom on the internet. Censorship on the internet is a relatively recent phenomenon. The Communication Decency Act passed by the US government in 1996 made it illegal to post material on the internet that was deemed patently offensive or indecent. The majority of the act was found to be unconstitutional, but Section 230 was not. Social media platforms, internet providers, and other intermediaries responsibility for the user's access or sharing was reduced under Section 230. 2 years later, the US passed the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, DMCA, criminalizing the dissemination of technology that bypasses copyright protection. Critics have long argued that DMCA limits free expression and the fair use of copyright material. Another argument that it restricts technological innovation and scientific research. The Chinese Ministry of Public Security launched the Golden Shield Initiative in 1998, limiting citizens' access to content the government deemed disruptive to national leadership. The Gold Shield evolved into so-called Great Firewall of China, considered the most exhaustive online censorship program. So specifications for the Internet's first virtual private network were published online in 1999. Internet users can now access private networks across public networks. Initially used by companies to share personal services with satellite employees and officers, VPN soon became popular with individual users avoiding online censorship and geo restriction. By 2015, the US Federal Communication Commission, FCC, had approved a net neutrality order that assigned ISPs as common carriers and banned discriminatory throttling or blocking. The net neutrality order was challenged in 2016 and survived, but the FCC repealed the order in 2017. In the same year, China began suppressing VPN services, making them more challenging for activists, researchers, students, and business people who relied on them to suppress the Great Firewall. Cyber censorship has increased worldwide in recent years. It's unlikely the debate around it will die soon, anytime. Today is also commemorated as World Glaucoma Day. World Glaucoma Day is observed on March 12th every year across the world. This is an important day that seeks to raise awareness about the group of eye diseases known as glaucoma. The day is part of a week raising awareness about the disease and ensuring that it caught early. Early detection of glaucoma improves the chances of stopping or at least slowing the disease down with appropriate treatment. The blindness caused by glaucoma is irreversible, but if it caught early, the disease can be treated and people will not have to endure the difficulties of blindness when it is prevented. World Glaucoma Day is observed on March 12th every year. The day is observed worldwide as part of the week set aside to raise awareness and eliminate blindness caused by glaucoma. Glaucoma is the name of several eye diseases that can cause vision loss by damaging the optic nerve. Often the diseases develop slowly and don't cause any pain, which makes it easy to ignore till it's too late. Blindness caused by glaucoma is irreversible. However, the disease is treatable if caught early. So damage caused by the optic nerve by glaucoma can be treated to halt progression of the disease. At the very least, slow it down. While there are some causes of glaucoma that have a sudden onset, most of the time these diseases develop gradually and can be caught in time to prevent blindness. The leading cause of glaucoma is buildup of fluid that causes an increase in pressure in the eye. Glaucoma diseases is caused when the aqueous humor, a natural fluid produced by the eyes, fail to drain out naturally from the eye. So usually the fluid drains out of the eye and is replaced with fresh aqueous humor, which the eye produces constantly. However, if something is wrong with the drainage angle, then the fluid will be retained in the eye, and over time the fluid buildup will increase the pressure on the optic nerve. The fibers on the optic nerve start dying as a result of the pressure. Over time, all the fibers die, causing total irreversible blindness. So glaucoma has no cure, but it's treatable if caught early. Seeing halos around lights, vision loss, redness of the eye, and tunnel vision are some of the warning signs of glaucoma. On average, it takes about 10 to 15 years for people to go fully blind after the onset of glaucoma. Many people ignore minor issues with their eyes if they are not accompanied by pain. Educating people about the early symptoms of glaucoma is essential. If you are a healthcare professional interested in preventing and addressing glaucoma, there are a lot of resources, including courses. Take an online course over the World Glaucoma Association to brush up on your knowledge. Get parents and doctors involved in campaigns on this day that raise awareness about the disease. Make sure you have question and answer session to ensure all information gets out there. Glaucoma is incredibly common and one of the leading causes of blindness in the world. The likelihood of contracting glaucoma increases as you get older with other risk factors, including family history and use of steroids. So the risk increases with the age. Depending on how blockage forms, glaucoma has three types: open angle glaucoma, angle closure glaucoma, and normal tension glaucoma. Treatments for glaucoma include eye drops to lower the pressure or reduce the amount of fluid, and laser surgery to create drainage for the fluid. So everyone is at risk, while the likelihood of contracting glaucoma increases with age with several risk factors. Almost everyone is at risk contracting the disease at all stages of their lives. So we think everyone should be aware of the dangers of glaucoma and how preventable it is. We want to help prevent blindness by assisting people with getting diagnosed. We think that the World Glaucoma Association does a lot of incredible work providing free resources to educate people about the disease. We want to honor their efforts and spread the word. Many doctors use this opportunity to provide healthcare information free of charge. We want to learn from them and ensure that we are preventing the development of glaucoma in people. Today is also commemorated as Registered Dietitian Nutritionist Day in US, which is held on second Wednesday in March every year, and this year it falls on March 12th. These nutrition and diet professionals help translate science of nutrition into applicable information for people regarding their food and nutrition choices. They work in almost every field, including healthcare, education, fitness, and the food industry, to improve the physical well-being of the general public. Registered dietitians are health professionals who study food, nutrition, dietetics, and use their knowledge to provide relevant information, identify and solve nutritional problems in people. They may work in a hospital, school, long-term care facility, or sports facility, providing patient care that may include nutritional counseling, assessments, meal planning, and other services. RDNs continue their education throughout their careers to stay abreast of new information and discoveries. Their commitment to helping patients achieve their health objectives and obtain a greater understanding of their disease is inspiring. In most countries, competent performances as a dietitian nutritionist requires formal training at a higher educational institution in dietetics involving food and nutritional science, nutrition education, and medical nutrition science. Their education in health science involves scientific-based knowledge in anatomy, chemistry, biochemistry, biology, and physiology. Clinical dietitians work in hospitals, community dietitians work with wellness programs, and public agencies, food service dietitians are in charge of large-scale food planning and service. Gerontological dietitians are nutrition and aging experts, pediatric dietitians, business dietitians, and research dietitians are all examples of dietitians. Since 2008, the American Academy or Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, the world's largest organization of food and nutrition professionals, has celebrated Registered Dietitian Nutritionist Day to recognize the important work RDNs do as advocates for improving the nutritional status of Americans and people around the world. The demand for them will increase. Dietitians and nutritionists employment is expected to expand 10 to 11% between 2021 and 2030, faster than average for all occupations. According to estimates, 60% of dietitians earn between $51,000 to $80,000 per year, with 8% earning over $1 lakh per year. So being open with a positive attitude, having a list of medication supplements you already use, and having your personal dietary objectives are all things to do before meeting with a nutritionist for consultation. So dietitians, nutritionists typically work in hospitals, private practitioners, and other healthcare facilities, while some also work in the community and public health settings, as well as in academia or research. RDNs must achieve stringent academic and professional criteria, including a bachelor's and/or master's degree in dietetics and nutrition or a related subject. Registered dietitian nutritionists offer work with other members of the healthcare and food service management teams, including nutrition and dietetic technicians. The majority of RDNs have earned graduate degrees in specialized fields such as nutrition support, sports pediatrics, or gerontological nutrition. A dietitian is a protected title. In the UK, identifying oneself as a dietitian without appropriate education and registration is prohibited by the law. So we have better understanding of our nutritional demands thanks to the work of registered dietitian nutritionists, RDNs, which leads to healthier body systems, healthier individuals, contribute to healthier communities, which in turn contributes to a healthier world as a whole. RDLs, due to its professionalism, help us identify the eating habits and meals that are detrimental to our body systems. So this knowledge helps us make better food choices and ultimately help us live healthier and long. With the kind of gestures or appreciation shown to RDLs, they will be well encouraged to do their jobs even better. When they do better jobs, we all benefit. Today is also commemorated as National Working Moms Day in US, celebrated on March 12th every year. It is a day to celebrate all mothers that work for their children, the teachers, the doctors, accountants, the cashiers, and yes, even the housewives and homemakers. All of them work. All of them are role models, even beyond their paid jobs. Mothers tend to assume the roles of substance teachers, first aiders, cooks, cleaners, and more. That is why, inspired by working moms of Milwaukee organization, we support their business, recognize all they do, and express how much it means on this day. Today is also commemorated as National Plant a Flower Day in US. We don't know about this day, but flowers make us an infinitely nicer and happier bunch. We love how they are just meant to bloom, no questions asked. The flower approach to life is worth emulating. Not only do they bring us joy, but there's a flower for virtually every mood. Whether expressing grief, love, gratitude, or appreciation, flowers say it best when words fail us. So let's spread the love and plant more flowers this National Plant a Flower Day. Flowers have changed the face of Earth quite literally ever since they made an appearance in the Cretaceous period over 145 million years ago. Before flowers, the world was abundant in ferns and conifers, an endless expanse of green Eden. Thanks to the insects and dinosaurs flowing their way across, flowers diversified rapidly. The explosion of part of varieties and color continuation. The explosion of plant varieties and color cascaded into the birth of several plant families we know today. Flowering plants are vital to existence. They are food sources that provide humans and animals the sustenance we need to survive. More than anything, flowers have an uplifting quality that captures the imagination. Many flowers just bloom for a short period, usually in spring or early summer. Although short-lived, few things compare to the beauty of flowers in a full bloom. Perhaps they transcend yet incomparable beauty inspired by symbolic meanings of flowers across various world cultures. Across civilizations, flowers have retained certain myths and symbolism. Their fragility has to represent death or new life. Sometimes they represent gods and goddesses too. Today is also commemorated as National No Smoking Day. Every second Wednesday on March, the day is designed as a time to reach out to friends or family members who suffer from nicotine addiction. Research shows the number of people around the world who still smoke cigarettes are not actively trying to quit. is severely dwindling. The stigma surrounding smoking and the dangers of first-hand and second-hand smoke tend to get more severe. As time goes on. National No Smoking Day originated in the Republic of Ireland in 1984 on Ash Wednesday when the ruling clergy determined that cigarettes would be a good thing for people to give up for Lent. Between then and now, the day of the holiday has been shifted to a more predictable second Wednesday of March. So medical reports linking smoking to cancer first appeared in 1920s. During the 1950s and 1960s, extensive research confirmed tobacco could cause a range of serious diseases, supporting National No Smoking Campaign is organized by the British Heart Foundation, whose members come up with a marketing phrase every year. For example, in 2010, the motto was Break Free. Television ads that year showed smokers breaking cigarettes instead of smoking them. Historically, many heavy smokers populated the Republic of Ireland, but in recent years, the number steadily declined. According to the annual Healthy Ireland survey, 80,000 people stopped smoking over the preceding 3 years. The World Health Organization states tobacco kills up to half of its users, with more than 8 million people dying each other. More than 7 million of those deaths are There is also commemorated as National Girl Scout Day in US on March 12th. Steel your resolve. Daters, be aware there are Girl Scouts everywhere and they are trying to sell you kryptonite, that is their most delicious cookies. Whether your favorite flavor is minty thin mints or yogi tagalongs, we all agree that Girl Scout cookies make the world round. They are so good they deserve a day, and they are one of sorts. Get ready to celebrate this March 12th because it's National Girl Scout Day. Part of Girl Scouts Week, National Girl Scout Day commemorates the anniversary of the first Girl Scout meeting. In 1912, Juliet Daisy Jordan Low organized a meeting of Savannah, Georgia, and Girl Scouts has only grown from there. So grab a cookie for 12 something. Today is also commemorated as National IUGR Awareness Day in US. Intrauterine Growth Restriction Awareness Day is observed every year on March 13. IUGR is a condition that leads to delayed growth in unborn babies. Thousands of women in the United States are affected by it. This day helps to create awareness for the condition. It spreads information about its causes, symptoms, detection methods, and treatments. The survivors have a chance to tell their stories and experiences. This lets people know they are not alone and they have options that would come help them cope, and it helps to make sure everyone has a chance. Intrauterine growth restriction, IUGR, is a condition that affects babies in utero. The child experiences a poor level of growth while the mother's womb. There are many reasons why this can happen. Sometimes it happens because the baby doesn't get enough oxygen. Women who live at a high altitudes are at risk. It can also happen if the baby doesn't get enough nutrition through placenta. This can also be because of problem with the placenta, high blood pressure, infections, or multiple babies like twins. Certain habits increase the risk of IUGR. These habits include abusing alcohol, smoking, poor nutrition, and drug abuse. Medical conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, anemia, and clotting disorders can contribute to the risks of IUGR. Women. Certain habits increase the risk of IUGR. These habits include abusing alcohol, smoking, poor nutrition, and drug abuse. Medical conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, anemia, and clotting disorders can contribute to the risks of IUGR. Women who have kidney disease, thyroid disease, and uterine malformations can also have babies who struggle with growth in the womb. The growing baby can be small or all over the body. Sometimes the baby's head would be normal size, but its body is small. This usually depends on the cause of growth restriction. The condition is tested and confirmed by ultrasound. More tests can carried to determine the cause of IU. So the condition is tested and confirmed by ultrasound. More tests are carried out to determine the cause of IUGR. Depending on the results, the baby may need to be delivered early. The growth of child after delivery depends on the cause of defect and how severe the condition is. Today is also commemorated as Independence Day in Mauritius, celebrated on March 12th. This day celebrates the island country of Mauritius and its people, culture, traditions. On anniversary of the day, the Mauritius became independent state with the Commonwealth. Mauritius is a country in the Indian Ocean east of Madagascar and comprises 4 different islands, of which the main island is the one known as Mauritius. Mauritius was a colony of Great Britain before it gained independence as an independent nation. In Commonwealth, the country is considered part of the African continent, located along southeast of Africa, east of Madagascar. Mauritius is officially known as Republic of Mauritius and comprises 4 different islands: Mauritius, Rodrigues, Avilega, and St. Brandon. The main island is Mauritius and Port Louis. The capital city is located on the main island. The capital city is also the most populous city in the island country. Today is also commemorated as Aztec New Year in Mexico, which falls on March 12th. Every year it signifies the start of New Year according to the Aztec calendar. We often imagine time as a linear concept, a straight line running from A to B. The Aztecs took a radically different view. Time was a force, it provided energy to change. Time was often a harbinger of miracles. The Aztec The celebration commenced with ceremonial dances and songs set to the beat of traditional drums. Dancers come dressed in colorful tradition, finery, and pastel feather headgear. Anyone fortunate to attend can attest to how mesmerizing these performances are. People present seeds as offerings and light octane or pitch pine candles that produce aromatic and extremely flammable resin. Towards the end of the ceremony, people burn a flag representing the year gone by and perfume a replacement flag. Finally, they welcome the new year by blowing into conch shells the same way their ancestors used centuries ago. So, with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. See you all tomorrow at the same time with the same joining link. Before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been shared in the form of polls.